Well, we have a really long history with American oak. This was originally Justin Meyer's vision for Silver Oak, was a wine produced exclusively in American oak. And there's a long history to American oak and wine production here in the North Coast. Some of the really great wines of the 1950s and 1960s here in the Napa Valley were made using American oak because that was what was available. And Justin really felt that his vision of Cabernet, which is one of our foundational principles, we only make Cabernet, and American oak was like a match made in heaven.
In 2015, the Duncan family of Silver Oak cellars became full owners of our cooperage in Higbee, Missouri, making us the first winery in North America to do so. At Silver Oak, we barrel age our wines for 24 months. The density of American oak is so high that it takes that amount of time for the wines to really integrate with the oak and for us to get all of the nuance and character out of the barrel. And it's become really a signature of our wines and our wine style.
As we refine the use of American oak, we really focus on those things that we can control, such as where we get the wood, where the trees grow, the seasoning process, the stave selection, the toasting. A lot like grapevines, where you grow stuff matters.
You know, we want to make sure we're getting white oak from a certain region. So Higbee's in the center of Missouri. I mean, almost right dead center. Typically, it's the location and the high humidity helps the white oak grow. You're always thinking 2 years out what you're going to need.
Kind of like chefs, as we start to get into adjusting those raw materials, that's where the seasoning comes in. So that's a big decision we make. And there's a lot of changes that happen in wood during the seasoning process. We essentially set the staves out in the stave yard and we leave them exposed to the weather. You know, in Missouri, there's heat. It gets quite hot there in the summer. There's rain in the winter. There's snow, and they can be extreme. And the old weathered staves, they're kind of gray. They look very different. They look a little bit tired. And that's actually what we love to see.
As soon as we bring a stack in, you're grading that wood all the way till it gets into the barrel, you know, through the milling process, all the way through. It's top priority. You just have to grade.
Stave selection is where we let the real pros do their job. Our cooper, Danny Orton, and his team, they do all of the stave selection for us. And they're looking for things, number one, from sort of a practical point of view that are not going to leak, they're going to be watertight. But also staves that are really going to complement our wine well. They do a lot of grading. It's very traditional ABC, 1, 2, 3, looking for stuff that's going to work for Silver Oak barrels and the oak cooperage.
Typically, you want 12 to 16 grains per inch. You know, we use staves that have more than that, but white oak, once you get so many grains, you tend to have less tylose in your stave, and it doesn't want to bend and create memory like a younger stave would. So, you know, it's a grading process. You know, you kind of go by feel, weight, everything to grade them.
He rejects anything that looks like it's not going to work for our wines or work for just the composition of the barrel. And then finally, toasting is like the coup de grace. It's sort of putting the last little seasoning onto the barrel. And the level of toasting really helps caramelize flavors. It brings new flavors out of the wood. It creates a lot of stuff that eventually is going to make its way into the wine. That is really the stylistic part of barrel production.
Toasting is a really important part of the barrel preparation. And here at our cooperage, we have multiple toast levels. We have a light toast and a medium toast. Every toast level has a different aromatic profile as well as a different contributing factor to the palate of the wine. With a light toast, we're going to see more of like a coconut aroma, which is very unique to American oak, and it's very subtle and it's very delicate in the wine. As you start moving into more of a medium toast, that's when the vanilla and these caramel aromas come out, which are really beautiful.
One of the more unique things about the oak, having been to a number of cooperages in my career, it's the only cooperage I've ever seen with a toasting platform that looks like this. Typically in a cooperage, when you're toasting the barrel or when you're firing it to be able to bend it, there's a pot on the floor with a fire going. You put the barrel rows over it. The oak cooperage is really unique in the sense that the original owners developed sort of a toasting platform that was a little bit higher. So the fire is about 3 feet below the toasting platform itself. The best way for me to sort of describe that is it's sort of like the difference between grilling a piece of meat and doing sort of an old-fashioned barbecue with really indirect heat.
All of these different pieces come together and they weave the story of who we are and what we do. and it enables us to continue to push the boundaries of our winemaking while also maintaining quality and consistency for our customers.